Crolister, the master of pwnage. Hi guys, Crolister here with another Mega Man video. Instead of playing a game in this video, I'm going to show off my fan art that I made on my DeviantArt thus far. As some of you may know, I am a hobbyist artist with a DeviantArt account that has more than 300 watchers at the moment after being on the site for less than a year, so I'm definitely picking up there, better than I am on YouTube. And one of my friends, Joseph Capel to be exact, has been uploading the pictures I made for him on his channel, and they're actually getting views. And he has more subscribers on his channel than I have on mine, which is complete bull. So, I figured I need to start uploading my pictures onto YouTube as well. And I'm going to do it in phases, like different pictures that are grouped together with different franchises. So, in this video, I will show you my Mega Man fan art that I have in my DeviantArt thus far. I even have an original character. And this includes my own personal fan art, as well as some art trades that I did with another one of my friends, ksuniverse. And I know ksuniverse knows about my YouTube channel as well, so shout out to him. And yeah, let's take a look at my fan art and see how much I've improved since I joined the site in the first place. Alright, so, the very first Mega Man picture I uploaded on my DeviantArt account was this picture, which is my interpretation of the first Mega Man game's official artwork, with Mega Man and the way that the Robot Masters are positioned behind him. A lot of other people already did this, so this isn't any kind of original picture idea. Except I drew Mega Man closer to what he looks like in the more modern games, like Mega Man 11, for the torso. A debuting artist needs to come up with a good idea that'll get them some more attention by default. Then they can kind of relax a little bit after they become substantially more and more popular, because they know they're already going to get a lot of attention later on. And I followed up with the second game in the series as well, which has a lot of detail, though I probably could have done better on Mega's face. I also forgot Dr. Wily's UFO in the background. So, I also want you to know that my earlier pictures, especially the Mega Man ones that I did, were while I was still getting used to how to really draw well with Microsoft Paint. Especially since my computer's a laptop with a touchpad. And in later pictures that I made, I got significantly better. I was just confident going into DeviantArt enough because I was already good at drawing freehand on paper. So, you kind of have to get used to how different it is on a computer. And once you get good at it, you can make some pretty amazing pics. Especially with the layering feature that Microsoft Paint added, which makes it both easier and funner to make good pictures. This is an early picture of Mega Man X that I later drew. I'm not the best at drawing X, I'm not gonna lie, and I think you can tell. So, I just drew a picture of X and made it clear that it was just a warm-up. And the picture did get one hate comment from somebody saying, "Wow, this is so bad. It seriously looks like he himself." And you'll see what I did in response to that later on in the video, just up ahead. So, yeah, there's that picture. I made a smaller, more adorable picture of Mega Man playing with Rush, based on one of the pictures from Mega Man 3, where Mega Man sits down with Rush and holds a bone in his hand. So, if you ignore the size comparison, this is a pretty cute one. Here's a picture of Zero from Mega Man X, which looks better than X, even in my opinion. I call him the Zero that was a hero, because, you know. Zero's got a very tragic backstory, and he was supposed to be the successor to Mega Man instead of X, originally, by KJ and Nafine's design. They just made X and made Zero be a side character instead because of the drastic change in design. Some other circumstances meant that this character would be a more tragic one. He was the final robot created by Dr. Wily, so he was supposed to be a villain. And he was reworked into a hero after he tried and failed to destroy Sigma, before Sigma became evil. And, the Maverick spirit lingering in him meant that he had to be terminated in order to really save mankind, according to the story. So, And Zero is a fan favorite, so there was no reason for me not to draw him. Alright, do you remember the bad Mega Man X picture that we saw earlier? This is a comic that I made in response to the hate comment I got in that picture. Alias says, "I'm picking up an unusual number of Maverick readings." X is angry, and Zero is saying, "This is so bad." And then Axel's saying, "X, it seriously looks like you yourself." Basically reflecting what the guy that left that comment on that picture said, just to play around. This is the reason why I call myself the master of pwnage, because I'm good at comebacks. So, there you go. Next up, we have a picture of Proto Man. A very simple picture of him dashing with the Proto Shield. A charismatic brother of Mega Man. He was the first robot ever made by Dr. Light, with Dr. Wily also involved. And he went missing before he could be scrapped due to a problem with his energy drive. And while he seems like a foe at first in Mega Man 3, where he debuted in the video game series, he would later become a friend of Mega Man that would appear at random to help him, as you know. Here's a picture of X with the first armor at the scene of Sigma's fortress, with Light's spirit watching over him. Similarly to how Zero was the last robot made by Wily, X was kind of the last robot that Dr. Light really finalized. In a way. Or at least he was the first to be a generation of the specific kind of robots they call Reploids in the series. And knowing that he wouldn't still be alive in order to see X actually come to life in the safe manner, he came prepared by making capsules that would contain various armor parts throughout the series that X could find and use to his advantage. Like the iconic first armor from the first game in the Mega Man X series. I call this one with Light's protection. I use crayon or natural pencils for water, for Microsoft Paint, and I made the body of Light look transparent by drawing a shape over him by using the marker filling, if you're wondering. Next, we got Bass and Treble, Mega Man's rival and his respective pet, standing on the cliff looking over. Debuting in Mega Man 7, and pretty much the opposite of Proto Man, Bass seems to be a good guy at first, then turns out to be a creation that Dr. Wily made to oppose Mega Man. And Bass vowed that he would one day beat Mega Man and prove that he's the strongest robot, even though he never really does that after Mega Man 8. And after being playable in Mega Man 10 and Mega Man and Bass, and not being in the game at all in Mega Man 9 and 11, he's substantially kind of become a filler character in a way, just for that reason. I like Bass's design a lot, nonetheless, though. So, there's him. Next up, we got a picture of Eddie giving Mega Man an energy tank. If you're lucky enough to get an energy tank, you simply cannot have too many of them. Even though in the game you can hold up to 9, still. I didn't get a good chance to make any fan art of Beat the Bird yet, so there's no pictures of Beat in this video. Maybe if I wasn't getting pressured by people left, right, and center with requests, fetish requests if I may add, I'd be able to make more of my own personal art more consistently and enjoy being an artist more than I do. I tried to close requests, and most people have left me alone, though I do still have some buggers. It's not easy to be popular. Then we have a simple picture of Dr. Wily. I drew him in the Mega Man 11 depiction with the black shirt underneath his coat. And then the Dr. Wily symbol behind him with cracking thunder. He's got tools in his hands. It's a good picture for the great Mega Man antagonist himself. Dr. Wily is in fact partly based on Albert Einstein, and it's likely because of how Japan felt after, the Second World War, being that the Mega Man franchise is a Japanese game franchise. And Dr. Wily used to be Dr. Light's friend, which I'll talk about a little bit more in a later picture in this video. So it's sad that he became so corrupt that he would vow his stupid desires to conquer the world. Genius doesn't always prevail, not if it's used for harm anyway. Alright, this is the first of the art trades I made with ksuniverse, which I mentioned earlier. This is his Fighter-Man Reploid OC with the swordsman armor. I made the sword look transparent by using a natural pencil filling. The armor itself looks pretty awesome as well, so, ksuniverse was my third watcher on DeviantArt and has stuck up for me ever since, so every once in a while we do art trades. I draw his OC, he draws mine as well. Some of them are Mega Man, and some of them are Legend of Zelda for his. And while I'm not a huge Zelda fan myself, I'll happily take art trades from that guy any day, because he's amazing as a supporter for me. One person requested me to draw a picture of Mega Man jumping, so I just drew this picture. It's just normal Mega Man jumping over a gap with his pose that he makes while he jumps. And, pretty simple. Now we have the iconic scene where Zero dies in Mega Man X1 after you beat Vile. And I drew X's face to make it look a bit more emotional than it actually is in the game. As you know, Zero sacrifices himself to destroy Vile's ride armor in Mega Man X, and then, by the next game he does get reconstructed, though it doesn't save Zero from the tragic destiny he has later on in the franchise. I think a lot of us can agree the deaths of Zero, and I mean deaths is plural, is among the saddest deaths in pretty much any video game, not just the Mega Man series. So I had to draw my own interpretation of the picture, of the scene. Then we have a picture of X and Zero just chilling out on a hillside looking outward. I called this one Prolonging Destinies because they have prolonging destinies. I explained before that X was made by Dr. Light and Zero was made by Dr. Wily, and that Zero has Maverick spirit in him, which, was partly how Sigma kept coming back and how the Mavericks kept returning over and over again, as the endings of games like X3 hint. So, And even though Zero has no recollection on Dr. Wily by identity, he doesn't remember Dr. Wily by name or existence. His spirit is in Zero's body, and that was mainly the source of the Mavericks, as opposed to, the main, villains in the game themselves. So, yeah. They're looking outward, ever ready to face their own destiny as needed. Here's a mediocre picture I made of Mega Man and Bass that I called What Do You Fight For? Because Mega Man and Bass fight for different purposes. Mega Man fights specifically to protect the world from harm, while Bass fights for greed and personal desire to grow stronger. So, I made this yin-yang kind of picture for this reason. Then we have a simple picture of Mega Man with his helmet off, looking over a skyscraper. From the series. This picture, which I called the Double Gear Grudge, is a picture of Dr. Light and Dr. Wily with a Double Gear system background. Because according to Mega Man 11, the Double Gear system was why Dr. Wily became evil in the first place. Dr. Light thought it was best to make robots with independent thought to become partners to mankind, while Wily refuted this, thinking that they would just merely be tools, even if they thought on their own. And the only way that humans would accept them is if they had the power to outdo humans. So he made the double gear system, and Dr. Light refuted it, saying that it was too dangerous. And after the committee happened that canceled Dr. Wily's research, he had since become evil and had sworn to conquer the world one day. And then it wasn't until the events of Mega Man 11, the game, that he would remember about the double gear and use it to try and take over the world from there as well. Which was countered by Mega Man using it, obviously. This is another picture of ksuniverse's Fighter-Man OC. This is the dragon armor, which is a form that has busters that shoot dragon fire. Self-explanatory. Here's a picture of Mega Man posing with my Charizard OC, Damon. I said before I didn't like Charizard. I specifically meant as a Super Smash Bros. Fighter. As a Pokemon, I'm indifferent to it. And because Charizard is an iconic fan favorite, it makes the most to have it as one of my own OCs, since I have several Pokemon OCs of my own. I called this ever Mega Ready, and it's just a picture of Damon, a Charizard that can Mega Evolve into X at will, and Mega Man doing a cute pose. This is the picture of Mega Man I made for my How to Freehand Draw Mega Man video that I already uploaded on YouTube before. It's him doing his little Mega Man 1 pose with a buster on his left arm. Pretty simple. Alright, this is it. My Mega Man OC. My very own OC of a Mega Man robot. His name is Glissando. I modeled him after a kind of native, possibly an aboriginal from Australian culture, and part of it comes from being a Crash Bandicoot fan, I guess, because it has Australian references. And Glissando himself has a different weapon than an actual buster. He has plasma radiators on his knuckles, and his hands can extend a good distance to punch enemies to damage them. I'll show you his abilities later on in the video, in fact. So, there's my Mega Man OC, Glissando. I continued the little knack where Mega Man characters have music references in their names. And a glissando is what they call if you slide your hands up or down the keys on the music keyboard. So, yeah. This picture, which I called As Mega Ready as Ever, is Glissando posing together with Mega Man and Proto Man. I drew notes to show Proto Man doing his signature whistle. If only I could whistle myself. So, just to show you that Glissando's a good guy, and that he's a friend of these guys in my stories. Here's ksuniverse's Fighter-Man again. This is the Phoenix armor at a volcano base. I'm guessing it has fire abilities and the ability to glide. So, alright, going back to the picture of Mega Man and Damon that I showed you earlier, one person left a hate comment on that picture saying along the lines of, Mega, you could have chosen 1,000 different Pokemon, and you choose an overrated one. Shame on you. I was like, you. And shortly after that, I made this comic as my comeback. Mega Man and Damon are returning from the scene. Then Bass appears and says, Ever Mega Ready, my bolts and nuts. Bass, were you eavesdropping on our photo shooting? Of all the 1,000+ Pokemon, you befriend the most overrated one? Shame on you. Damon blows fire in Bass's face. Like Charizard does in the anime. That's what happens to jerks. Shut up. See, Master Pwnage strikes again. These comics that I made show the public that I'm not afraid of haters. To be quite honest with you, it's fun to mess around with them if they irk you that much. I'm more afraid of people that take advantage of me than haters, to be honest. Alright, here's another picture of Zero, except this is his depiction from the Mega Man Zero series on the Game Boy Advance, which looks radically different. You think the Mega Man X series is kinda tragic because of Zero's background? The Mega Man Zero series defines tragedy. Seriously, the whole game series, all 4 games, they'll make you shed some tears if you actually read the text in the game. And while I'm not really fond of how much different Zero looks and how less robotic he looks compared to Mega Man X, some people do like the Zero design better, and it is kind of a standing point in the Mega Man franchise, and that's kind of proof that enough and they wanted to take out his anger with this character. So, there's that for you. Alright, here's some of Glissando's abilities. I have Glissando using the G knuckle on a Pikmin, or a Pickleman, whatever. And notice how his legs can morph into boosters that allow him to dash in the air or hover as well. He can punch his knuckles into different directions and deal damage quite a lot. And it does more damage than an uncharged Mega Buster bullet, though not as much as a charged shot, I'd say. So, there's that. I'm trying to find the correct points in the video to resume the recording, because I have an unruly brother, and if he hears me talking, he'll whine. We absolutely hate each other for good reasons. So, sorry that I'm feeling a bit choppy right now. Anyways, this is one of Glissando's pet robots, a bat I named Paradiddle, which is also a musical reference, being a specific way to play a drum. Paradiddle appears upon call and will fly after enemies and attack with a screech strong enough to disable a robot that comes forth and destroy them. Like the screech overloads their circuits, basically. Pretty useful, though it does obviously consume energy upon use, as, support types in the series go. Paradiddle is also a girl, by the way. So, that goes along well with the lack of female pets in the main series. She can also deliver items and save Glissando from falling upon calls as well. Here's a picture I made of Sigma, the main antagonist of Mega Man X, in his original depiction with the cape. I find it very interesting that Sigma is, he used to be a good guy and then became evil. If you've watched the Day of Sigma cartoon in the Mega Man X Legacy Collections, which is partly based on the PSP remake Mega Man Maverick Hunter X, you can see the whole backstory for yourself. And it's also interesting how he always comes back after being destroyed, just assuming new bodies, which is pretty dope as well. So yeah. Excellent successor to Dr. Wily, I'd say. This is a picture of Glissando and Bass fighting each other. I picture Glissando and Bass to hate each other as enemies. Like, Bass is already Mega Man's rival. So, yeah. Here's a picture of my OC fighting Mega Man's rival in a jungle temple scene. Every so often, I will do an Ask or Dare on my DeviantArt page if I need some suggestions or stuff from my friends. So I had one person ask Glissando about his favorite robot masters in every game in the core series. While these are not necessarily my favorite robot masters, they're specifically Glissando's, these are satisfiable picks. He says Elecman, Quickman, Top Man, Pharaoh Man, Gravity Man, Night Man, Shade Man, Grenade Man, Magic Man, if you want to include Mega Man and Bass, Splash Woman, Nitro Man, and Torch Man. And the person that asked this also later made pictures himself of Glissando using these weapons for me as a birthday present, which is very nice. This is another picture of ksuniverse's Fighter-Man OC, the Victory armor. He's standing confidently outside of the fortress of Dr. Vision, which is his own villain. At some point up ahead, I plan on making my own Mega Man villain introduction as well, for Glissando. Maybe even write stories if it's convenient enough. Here's a cute picture of Glissando and Paradiddle hanging on a bar, which I call hang in there. So you know. This is a Halloween art trade I did with ksuniverse. This is Fighter-Man's Halloween armor outside of a haunted castle scene. I like to use special effects for fire and stuff. I made a picture of Paradiddle dancing for a Halloween party as well, during the month of October. Another OC of ksuniverse, the Halloween Crusader, at a cemetery. And another one from him, the Halloween Gremlin, inside of a haunted mansion room. Then here's another version of ksuniverse's Fighter-Man OC as well. Fighter-Man with the Neos armor, which has a rapid-fire charge shot, somewhat like one of the ones in X4 and Airfield. Then ksuniverse asked Glissando in an Ask or Dare if he had any new abilities, so that was where I decided to introduce Super Glissando, which is formed by merging with another OC of mine, another one of his pets besides Paradiddle, a squid-type robot called Coda. If you've ever heard the saying DSL Coda, that's how it's a music reference. Super Glissando gets Coda's arms as his arms, which can go a little bit further than his G-Knuckle normally can, and the tentacles become aiming lasers that lock onto an opponent and charge up to unleash the Quad Blast, which is supremely powerful. So, yeah, there's Glissando's transformation ability. This is the most recent art trade that I did with ksuniverse to this point, which is Fighter-Man using one of the special weapons that he made, the ice spike. And while I completed the picture, I thought maybe I drew the use of the weapon wrong. And judging by the comments ksuniverse left on it, I did. He said it was alright, I did the best I can, and he still gave it a quartz badge, so that was forgiving. That was generous. I guess he intended the ice spike to be more like a weapon like Blizzard Buffalo's Frost Shield from X3, or Shellman's Chill Spike from Mega Man 10, as opposed to an actual blade or shot weapon, so, oh well. You have to realize that everybody makes mistakes. Finally, there is one picture I have that I didn't publish on DeviantArt yet, because I made it more recently, and I make pictures in advance and upload one of my own a day only on weekdays. And this is a humorous picture of Rush and Paradiddle shipping, or having a kind of romantic involvement with one another. They're just looking at each other intently, with Mega Man blushing and Glissando saying, "Say, Mega, I think our pets like each other." A lot of my fans on DeviantArt are into shipping, which is a term for having a romantic involvement with one character and another. So I thought since I made Paradiddle be a female, I'd make one of her and Rush doing so, just to show my humorous side. So with that wraps up the showcase video. I plan to do more videos like this showing my fan art for some other franchises besides Mega Man that I like up ahead, as well as maybe some highlights on my Pokemon OCs, because I have a lot of them. That Charizard one was just a start. And, you know, going back to that comic I made, yeah, Charizard is definitely overrated, though that doesn't give you the right to go into the picture and bash him like that. If you see a picture of a character you hate, you shouldn't click on it in the first place. That's what I'm going to have to say about that from there. So yeah. Like I said, my DeviantArt's picking up pretty well, to the point where I am getting spammers and people trying to take advantage of me, which is not good by any means. Though it will help me gain some recognition up ahead from here on out, so, you know. Yeah. I do want to do more videos like this for my OCs and my general fan art, as well as some more how to draw videos, since freehand drawing is one of my personal strengths as what I can do. And I'll try to think about what I can do up ahead as a YouTuber as well, with update videos and stuff like that. So that's going to be it for this video. I am Crolister, Master of Pwnage. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in my next upload.